And good morning. I wanted to see what this recipe is. I gotta mute it. Something caught my attention. And I definitely want to see it. It's not what I planned. What the hell is this? I'm gonna subscribe so I don't have to watch it right now. Whatever it is, it looks good. Early in the morning, talking about dinner food. Looks like a German dish. I'm not sure. It looked good. What's up, Dagger? It's gonna be a hot one today. And what's up, brother Kyler? It's gonna be 100 degrees here today, so I'm just chilling. It's weird to drink. It's cool in the house, but it's like weird to drink coffee unless it's cold. But it just doesn't feel right. But I gotta have my coffee. So 100 degrees today, 100 tomorrow. You know where I'll be? In the pool. You know that. I don't know what the water temperature is, but like I have friends down south, they say the water temperature is 88, 89 degrees. Their pool temperature, that is disgustingly gross. If mine is over 80, I start to have a fit. Good morning, Marianne. You're brewing your coffee too now? I was thinking of writing another song, Morning Sunshine. The lyrics. Well, that's the title. I may have to save that, right? Morning Sunshine. It doesn't have to be sunny out, but every morning you should wake up ready for your day with, all optimistic, positive. Sunshine cannot just be literal, it can be figurative. I think I'm going to do that. Morning Sunshine. I'm going to have to put that on my lyrics tab so I don't forget it. It just hit me. Good morning, Navy Mom. I pray for your son and everybody over there. And Nick, what are you doing up so early? Are you kidding me? In California? What's going on? Did you get woken up by something that I'm not aware of? One time I was streaming, he goes, Bill, I just got up. It was like 6 something in the morning. We just had an earthquake. I'm like, what? That's California for you. That's what you get. You know I'm messing around. God forbid. Hold on. I've got to make a note of this. Morning Sunshine. So I don't forget it. I'm going to write about it. Morning Sunshine. That will be the title. I'm not going to sit here and write it right now. Even though it wouldn't be that difficult, but I'm not. All right, what's going on in here? Things are quiet. Things are quiet this morning. Yeah, it's going to be 100 today. It's going to be 100 tomorrow. It's going to be near 100 on Thursday. We're still hot, no rain. Oh, now, I'm not condoning what I tell you. For those that don't have air conditioning, like a lot of people in the UK, there are ways. You just got to be mindful. It depends on what kind of fan you have. And you know me, how I invent things. I come up with MacGyverism ideas. Would always say to my dog, good morning, sunshine. Wow. See? Because you want it to be flat. It doesn't have to be flat. I don't know if okay, let me give you I'm just saying this works. Think of it as a fan air conditioner. Now, not exactly this one, okay? Not exactly, because I got different ones of these. So you know how you have these things that you put in the freezer? Now, technically, this does have a hole in the middle, but that's not the best place to have it. But you could. You tie, if I was using this one, I would put a piece of rope and thin, very thin, like a cord, like a very, even fishing wire, string, whatever, and put it to a hook. Hook it in the back of your fan. But you can't block the whole fan. You got to have the fan circulate air. So say you had a fan like this big. Put a couple of them across. You will be shocked how cool that air will feel. But you want to be able to have it with clips, so you could just take one off as it melts and then put another one on. Now the thing is, you should have a towel underneath the fan because it's going to sweat. This works on any fan. Just, think about the design that you're going to do on the back of the fan, but you can't block the entire fan because then the fan won't circulate air. So it depends on the size of the fan. You use common sense. You put a few of these blocks, not near the motor. Do not put them near the motor. Put them on the sides away from the motor so the condensation runs downward. Not near the motor. God forbid. That's why you got to just be careful, but it works. It blows the cold air from these. It's amazing. On the back. So I don't have a fan here handy, but use your common sense. And you can buy these things in the store, the freezer pack things. Just make sure they have a hole. So you could tie, and you could use hooks for pictures, picture hangers, so that you could attach it to, so you could just hang it on and clip it on. So it's just dangling behind the fan. Make sure you put a towel under the fan. And make sure you keep it away from the motor. It works. You will be shocked. You'll be like, oh my God, what? And you could use anything. Now, if it's a bigger size fan, you could use anything. You've got lots of freezer packs. Try it, John. Now, obviously, just remember, put a towel because it's gonna condensate. It's gonna sweat. And keep it away from the motor. You're not gonna put the pack on top of where the motor is below. It's gonna drip right below it. That's insane. Put them on the sides. And you can use bigger containers and stuff, but you just gotta figure out a way, not too heavy for the fan because the fan won't hold the weight. But people use bottles, because I've told this to other people. People use bottles, but again, depending on the weight. I would go with the flat ones because they rest easy against the fan itself. When you got like a bottle hanging off, that's not it can work. Diesel says sitting a fan on top of a 5-gallon bucket of ice. Yes, because the cool air is rising into the fan and blowing it. That is another way. But, you're depending on that cooler air to rise and hit the fan. These are directly connected. You're getting that cooler air from that. So just things to think about. And I know that a lot of people in the UK don't have air conditioning. And be creative. I mean, like I said, you want to be able to hook it so it's easily detachable. You don't want to be tying it and then untying it. That's why I say hooks. I mean, I think of it this way. Even if this wasn't, now this is not, I'm just saying, this is a hook, but I could theoretically, this is not the right hook I'm talking about. See how this would hook right into the back of the fan? But you would have to be able to tie it onto this. Now, if I was going to use this, which I wouldn't, I would probably put a nut on here and tie it on here. So I have a little thing on here so I could put rope behind the nut. Does that make sense? To hold it. But I wouldn't use this. I'm just saying, think of something that you can tie to something like a hook, and you hook them. Just something to try and consider. I mean, storms, we'll check the weather in a second. High today, over here it's going to be 100. The heat wave you had moved over here. I'm still going to beat you. It's going to be 99 in California. I'm going to be 100 today. Ha! If I'm okay like you, I fix things all the time, so got common sense. It really is. And you're going to be, but like Diesel said, if you could think of another way, like just on his 5-gallon idea, does it have to be a 5-gallon pail? No. Think of it this way. If you had a tray, a large tray with a lid that closes and it's durable, right? What I would do, I would take what he just said and take it a little further. I would make holes in the top of the lid so that air escapes even better. The cold air comes out. So I would take that lid, it's got to be durable though, like a Tupperware tray with a thick plastic lid. Now me, I would drill holes in it, big holes, so that air can come into the fan above. Do you know what I mean? It will work. But again, you have to buy the right size and cover the area of the fan so it's nice. It's unavoidable that the fan is going to get that cooler air. In the front, the side, the back, that's perfect. And you can fill it with these frozen packs. You don't even have to put ice cubes because the ice is going to melt. Then it's going to make a mess in the bucket. You get a bunch of these thick ice, or you get like the water bottles and put them in there frozen. Have a bunch in the freezer ready to go. If it fits a water bottle, what's a water bottle? Like about that wide? So you're talking about a tray that might be 5 inches high so that the water bottles could just fit in there neatly, frozen. Perfect. So there are ways you could just think about it. Like I just thought of that idea now because Diesel triggered me to think about it when he said about a 5-gallon bucket of ice. So you just be creative and think of ideas. You'll be like, oh my God, this is outrageous. And if you close the door like a small room, it's going to cool off that room. It'll work. The more fans, the better. Like a large room like this, a little fan is not going to cool it down. I would need numerous fans to do that, to do this. This is a big room. But you guys get the idea. What's going on? I have one of those tower fans that can take a reservoir of water that pumps onto a sponge. See? Like Genghis is saying, but that's a little different. Oh, Jesus Christ. You got woken up by the neighbors at 5 a.m.? You've been going through this for 11 years? Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Gabby says it's going to be 96, but will feel like 100 because of the mugginess. And it's only going to get worse through the week. I'd rather have the heat. Yeah, the humidity is. Hold on, I'm just seeing something here. Nothing really new as far as Iran. There was reports of explosions earlier in Bushehr, but nothing confirmed. Same old. It's nothing new. I've been keeping an eye, but there's really not much going on right now. I got rid of Radar Omega. I fell in love with this one more. Somebody told me about this on TikTok. Weatherwise. I like Weatherwise. And they still have storm chasers and everything else. It's just more detailed, like easier to use. Pasta fan on top with no lid on. Just be careful with condensation and sweat, John. Do you know what I'm saying? Be careful with that. That's the thing. You don't want any sweat going near the motor or any electrical parts. Just be mindful of that. It will work. What is going on here? Extreme heat warning. San Diego, LA. Again, it's gonna be worse there than it is gonna be here today. Oh, you know all about Weatherwise? I used to use Radar Omega. It still might be working, but I got rid of the paid version. It costs money to have these apps. We had a lot of rain, cooler but humid, so it's so high. Oh, this is the online one, obviously. So let's see where Nick is. He's got this heat. What is it? A heat advisory? Yeah, it's a heat advisory. Aw, poor Cali Nick in chat. Canada, you've got some rain up there. Oh, there's a lot of heat up in Canada too. Look at this. Actually, not really. I was looking at fucking North Dakota. There's not much going on in Canada. Oopsie. Canada, maybe Montreal. That's way north of Montreal. Not really much going on. The heat is actually in Dakotas, Minnesota. You can see where that heat is. We've got heat advisories. Rain down here. Quite a bit of it, actually. You got rain going on, Genghis, in Louisiana? Because it sure looks like it. Look at that. But Texas, you've got some serious rain going on. Look at that. I don't know how your drought situation is, but you're getting some rain right now, boy. This is heavy rain. Both to the east and west of Austin. I could look at the model. Let me take this off. Actually, we'll take that off. And we'll put model. Let's see what the model says. I can make it a little bit longer than that. I'm supposed to be able... Am I logged in? Because usually you could click on two of these babies. Unless I'm not logged in. It may not be. These expire soon. There's a lot going on. Oh my God. Mom, I make coffee, yeah. I cannot hear you. I really can't. Oh my God. It's just too much. Ah, boy, oh boy. I made coffee, Mom. Um, we have water restrictions. It's raining. Uh, it's raining at the moment, Genghis. 67 warnings. Louisiana, Texas, Texas. That's exactly where we're looking. I mean, look at it. It's all Louisiana, Texas. But the heat for a lot of other people. So there you go. That's the weather. I know it's going to be near 100 today. One of the farms I watched got 5 inches of rain in Texas, and they're okay, but their water, oh my gosh. Coastal southeast Texas, south of Houston. Well, what does that look like? You've got rain right now. It doesn't look to be as bad as to the north and west or east. It's rain, but it's not like it is up north. Look at that. North of Houston. So where he is coastal, if he's south, did you say you're south? South of Houston, yeah. So, I mean, it's light. It doesn't look too heavy where you are, Diesel. You take such care of your mouth. And I hope my son follows your example. I hope you're not talking about me. Oh my God. So yeah, the rain is down here, and also here, which I think they could use that rain because they're suffering crazy droughts out west. Do you think Tropical Cat 1 will form and impact North Carolina? Dude, I don't know about that. You know the season. You live there. August, September. Even though the hurricane season starts technically in June, but really it doesn't ramp up to like August, September. And with El Nino and shear and that Sahara freaking sand in the air that dries up the atmosphere, you need a I don't want to say hurricane. You need a slow moving, soaking depression. I don't even want to say tropical storm. Just a nice low pressure that moves slowly and brings that rain into you and moves inland. We do not want to say anything that happened in the hurricane that affected the Carolinas. That was horrific. So you don't want too much at one time. You want that nice, moderate rain that soaks, absorbs, not that runoff rain. That's not helpful. I'll look at this forecast. It looks like there's a low developing here. That's the Pacific's been active. You know, that typhoon affected China. It's quiet over there right now. We could look at it like this. Oh, I don't know what she wants. What? You got to come here because I can't hear you. I don't know what she's saying. See, there's a weak, unorganized low offshore, but it's not going to affect. It seems like these high pressures just keep developing here and spinning. And that's not going to be helpful at all. Look, there's another high here. Now, if there was a storm developing here, the steering currents, that would be interesting, but there's nothing. It's this heat domes. They just keep coming in. Look at that. That's not good. I mean, not even anything developing, and we're going into the end of July. Not even a low pressure. Forget about a hurricane. Not even a low pressure anywhere. Look at that. So guess what you got to count on? Look at another high pressure forecasted to develop. Alexa, stop. So where do you think you're going to try to get your what's going on? Good morning, Tammy. Water problem in the Southwest is getting critical. Oh my God. I know. What? Been crazy in Manchester, where I live. The whole Peak District on fire, dude. Oh my God.
Currently 79 degrees. Feels like 90.
What?
Today's high 98. Tomorrow's 99. Heat advisory in effect until Wednesday
See,
evening with
Alexa, stop it. That's the bad thing. You get dry lightning strikes where there's not a lot of rain coming out of a thunderstorm cell. That dry lightning ignites fires. Then you got idiots who are careless, not thinking about how dry it is and how it's a tinder box, and they do stupid things. I mean, my God, common sense comes into place. You know what I mean? Oh my God, Tammy, I'm sorry. Reed was chasing in Japan? Holy shit. That's interesting. But see, you always look off of Africa for low pressures to come offshore. And which way do they go? Do they dissipate? They get shredded? Do they turn north? Or do they continue depending on movement, current of wind current? Does it take it this way? Does it come in? Does it go across? You know, you look for that. There's nothing for the next 2 weeks even developing off of Africa. That makes the Atlantic very quiet. Unless you get something developing, because it has happened. Something here. And then it develops and it intensifies. Because this water is warm. It's ripe. But look at it. Look at the pattern. Look at the systems. Way to the north. Like, we'll get it here in the Northeast. We'll get rain from these systems up to the north. But look how quiet. I mean, look at the pattern. It is unbelievable. Look how high these systems are. That's a low pressure way up. Where are they? It's like, where are they? Where are the systems? And then you look to the Pacific. Where are the systems that are going to come into Canada and dive down or cut across like Washington State? And where are they? That's a problem. See, there's little disturbances. Like looks like a weak low trying to develop there. See it? And that creates a lot of issues for the central part of the country. But it depends where this low goes. Does this low curve up to Canada? Do we get a front going on? Depends where it lines up. Do we get a front forming as it moves east? But look at it. It's weak. The Gulf machine is on. Slightly. But look at it. Look how quiet that map looks. If you guys know what quiet looks like. Look at that. Yeah, there's a little precipitation on the map. She's outside. I don't know what she's doing out there. Meanwhile, you got a system developing here. I don't know if that's going to head toward Hawaii. I don't think so. But do you see what I'm saying? Look at the system up here. It's weak. Now we got a disturbance here, like I said, the northeast. But look at the map overall. Look how quiet, and look where most of the moisture is. To the north. Nothing really going on. Of course, Texas, you got that humid air coming off. Louisiana, that's normal. And they could get the monsoonal rains in here. Other than that, this is super quiet. Now we got something coming down. Where's the low? It's discombobulated. See, now we got some more cooler air coming down. And we're going to get it. What day is this? Next Tuesday. I won't get a forecast for next Tuesday. We should definitely get moisture out of this. But not the places that really need it. Look at this. You might get something here. There's not much to see here. Really. Again. See, that's just the shredding it. Look at that. That is dry. See, we need a few of these lows. Not to be here, to dip down in here. And go across. But they're way to the north. But they'll affect here. But now where you folks really need it, you know? Oh, and in the UK? I do want to check this out, though. Okay, that's the one I didn't think it was going to hit, but this one behind it. Looks like it's curving a little bit to the north, too. I don't trust this model. It's way out. Way out. Too far out. So I would monitor this one to see how it develops. This is 2 weeks away. You can't trust a model that far out. But I would watch this development to see how it may affect the islands, because that's a close model right there. That could change big time. We have no rain predicted in at least 10 days. Wow. See, like this. What is that? It's too early. Let's check the UK. Now, if there's lack of systems from here, you're going to get lack of systems there. So there's a low pressure there right now. But where's it going? Look at this. It's actually just staying there. Jesus. I mean, you might get a little moisture out of that. I don't even know about that. That's a high pressure coming in. And it's just spinning out there. It's not moving. Look at this freaking high just spinning. It's a blocker. It's not allowing anything. You're right. I don't see much moisture for the UK at all. Look at that. See, there's a low here, but I don't think it's. This is over a week. Maybe in 2 weeks, some showers from this low, bringing in moisture off the offshore here. You guys really, you too in the UK. Have a great one, Tammy. Exactly. It's all moving north. That's what I'm saying. It's staying up to the north. So you guys got issues in the UK for moisture. Are you ready for the game? That's going to be one heck of a game. England, Argentina. Oh my, that is. And Spain, France. Oh my God. That's like, though, if you love that game, those should be two really awesome games. Just saying. So yeah, it's going to be, I'm sweating already. I shut the air off. I can't open the doors. That would be the worst mistake I make. Opening the doors. Most lakes are normal levels there. Have caught up recently with all the rain. Like here, we were having a little drought, but we got I couldn't believe how much rain. I was collecting it in buckets. I got like 5 inches of rain those 2 days that it rained. For like 2 days straight. Got like 5 inches, but it was a steady, consistent rain. I had to drain the pool down twice. It was overflowing with water out of the skimmer. I was like, holy. But that's a good thing. The pool is full. The well must be fine. But now, the heat is on. I don't even know if they're predicting any rain here for a week. We were lucky to get that rain. A 100 today. Since it's not that humid, it'll feel like 102. That tells you the dew point probably in the 60s. That's exactly what I did all up in here. I backwashed and rinsed both of them. I backwashed first for like 4 or 5 minutes because you waste a lot of water. And then I do rinse. You can tell by backwashing the water will turn yucky looking and then it'll start to clear up. And that's when I say, okay, enough water wasted. Then I put the rinse and again, a little yucky, like a brown, whatever color it is. And then it turns clear. Okay, that's it. No more water wasting. So 100 today, 99 tomorrow. What? They're saying today wildfire smoke will cause the sky to be hazy here today. Wildfire fire from where? What? Mostly sunny, breezy, and very hot. Wildfire smoke will cause the sky to be hazy. Holy shit. Tomorrow, 99. Possibility of a thunderstorm in the afternoon. 92 on Thursday. Hot. 90 on Friday. And then 83, 83, 84. And on the weekend, a chance of a thunderstorm. But other than that, not much moisture. It's been a crazy summer already. But today, oh God, portions of New England will face the risk of damaging winds, hail, and even isolated tornadoes Tuesday through Tuesday night. Here we go. And there's that high. And usually they developed around the storm where the heat is into the cooler air, so they could become severe. Look at that. Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, that's usually where it is, and into Canada. It is that freaking heat. So, if you live in New England, you should pay attention. Makes good sunsets. Lots of color, yeah. Yes. What? I just had a message saying it's kicking off in Russia, mass protests or something. I haven't seen anything about that. I mean, I could pay more attention to what's going on with that stuff, but you got to remember, on both sides, though, all these people that die daily. There's mothers, fathers, family members that are losing family members. You know, it comes a point where the people just say, oh my God, how much can we take of this? So many families losing loved ones. Just saying. Let's see if there's anything new, though. It's been very quiet. Telegram. Look what a lie. Well, this is what they're claiming. But again, look how freaking vague and slick they're trying to be when they created that Persian Gulf Strait Authority nonsense. This is Press TV. This is the media for Iran. Before U.S. interference in the region, which led to the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, no, didn't lead to the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. You did that. More than 200 non-Iranian vessels passed through the strait after informing the Persian Gulf, whatever authority, and received insurance and passage permits within 3 weeks of signing the Islamabad MOU. Now, here's the bullshit. Why do you have to allow that to happen? Ships were just going through freely in an international waterway. Now they have to get prior permission, authorization. You put the mines there, didn't you? Who put the mines there? You did. You made it the way it is. You created those conditions. So now you're trying to sweeten this the way it sounds? No. No. Bullshit. The strait should be open, period. End of story. Regardless of how the ships are getting through. Period. Not your way, our way, all way. None of this would be happening if this wasn't the situation. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's insanity. What that claim is. And then they make it sound like their response was so harsh and severe. Because they lie. Because the people, their people watch this. Iran's response to fresh U.S. aggression signals no red lines in defending national security and strategic interests. So obviously they do this. This is their media, Press TV. It's exactly, it's international water. There should be no regulations, rules, because then it's like, what if I don't like you? Do I let you through? What if it's an Israeli oil tanker? Are you going to let them through? Are they going to get authorization? Or another country you don't like? It's insanity, and it has to stop somehow, some way. How? I don't know. Okay, he hasn't. This nut job hasn't put out anything lately. I'm sure you've seen that guy's face around. What is this? Cracks are showing in the Russia-China alliance. Russia has increasingly caught Chinese espionage targeting mid-level officials, but stays quiet to avoid upsetting Beijing. In the Wall Street Journal. Meanwhile, Chinese goods are flooding Russian markets, undercutting local producers. And then, yeah, the European Aviation Safety Agency is warning airlines to avoid airspace over Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, the UAE, the Gulf of Oman through July 29th, risk of misidentification or unintended engagement. Trump is very serious about imposing a 20% toll on cargo through the Strait of Hormuz. So here's this is the thing that is a little difficult for people to swallow. You bitched and moaned about any kind of fees because it's a free passageway. Now you want to impose them? But then on the flip side, how much is it costing the United States taxpayers to do what we're doing over there? But I mean, now they're saying, "Oh, we'll charge less. We'll charge 10%. Come our way. It'll be cheaper for you." 20% is too high. So what, are we going to have two different competing passageways? This should not be tolled at all. It wasn't tolled before. Why are we talking tolls now? There was no problems. 120 ships per day at least going through the strait before this whole shit started. Now each side is talking about tolls and fees, which I truly believe. They say that he's very serious about this. I thought it was more about trolling and trying to bait them. But I mean, if this is serious. And remember, at 4 o'clock Eastern today, the blockade goes back into effect. Yeah, exactly. You can't say, well, exactly. That's what I mean. That's hypocrisy, where you say, well, you can't charge tolls, but now we're going to charge tolls? And I could understand the logic behind it because it costs a lot of money to have our assets over there. I get all that. Should have thought of that before we did it. The cost. How much is it? It's got to be like close to 100 billion by now. Think about that. It's got to. Last number I heard, and that was like a week or so ago, was 80 billion so far. I would think it's closer to 100 now. Yes, but the World Cup is coming to an end, so keep an eye on that. You got big games in the next 2 days, and then the game. The games to end this. This is, I mean, we got a game today and tomorrow. I think the UK, not the UK, let me not say that because the UK has different countries involved and teams. England, Argentina, Spain, France. That is big. And then the final. Now, I'm not into soccer. I'll say soccer. I don't say football because football here in America is football. Football is football. Soccer is soccer. I know you folks would say, no, it's not. It's football. I get it because it's a game played by the foot. But we have football here, so we call it soccer. But when is the final? The 17th in Giants MetLife? That's the end of the week. So, now they won't. They won't target. They're not going to do that. I don't think we have to. I mean that there's serious security. I don't think that's. I'm. What I'm saying is, once the World Cup is over, right in time for the weekend, and especially after the president's speech on Thursday night at 9 Eastern, it's like the timing. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying anything's connected, but the timing is interesting. Let me see what you guys are writing. I understand the costing, but Trump's not doing it for nothing. Well, if you notice how he speaks about Venezuela, we have a lot of oil. We have our oil. We have Venezuela oil, like he owns it. Have you ever noticed that? How he talks about Venezuela like we own that oil now? That's what that shit was all about. I called it before it even happened, and I was right. It's not about the boats and the drugs. It's about the oil. And it was about the oil. It's about the money. It's always about the money. And the facts that during a hearing, an open hearing, even those that are in charge in the military said that most of those boats do not come to the United States. They go south to the ports, and then it's distributed to Europe. So that 90% number was nonsense. Yeah, 90% of it goes to Europe. So it was always about oil. Hot take, but maybe this is highly irresponsible. What if? Yeah, I don't think they're going to target the stadiums. You never know, though. There could be things going on, credible threats that we're not aware of, and we shouldn't. That's national security. And what would the U.S. make out of arms deal alone? I talked about that, John. War is money. But they have to be able to produce this now. Because I heard it takes a long time, actually, to build Patriot missiles, and we've used a lot. It's going to take time to replenish the supply. I could actually look that up. UK listed IDC, so English players. That's true too, though. With the UK. That is an excellent point. They may try to target the English team. You're right. That is a legitimate concern. You're right. It's an excellent point, actually. So, again, we got to just keep an eye on all this. But I think, now, how much, I know they're hitting the areas they should have been hitting a long time ago. Finally, thank God. And going after the ports and the boats, which should have been done months ago. What did I probably see, KJ? What's going on? What are you sending me on Telegram? Yeah, I saw that already, KJ. I just talked about that. The airlines. But it seems like they're doing the right thing right now strategically. But it should have been done months ago. Exactly. What? Today, the U.S. is doing what Bill said should have been done when he floated in the pool. I've been saying it. Look, I'm not alone. John knows. Marianne, Navy mom. A lot of us who've been here for months. Before February 28th. Before the massacre on the streets in Iran. We were all talking about this. It's not like this is rocket science. It's just logical, rational thinking. There's no cognitive dissonance here. It was just looking at this objectively, practically, and looking forward what should be prioritized. Obviously, they didn't do that. They let it slip through their fingers, and Iran was able to use it for leverage. That was the mistake. Now you see them scrambling, hitting a lot of positions along the coastline that should have been done from day one. Now, I get it. They were hitting other sites, missile sites, drones, because remember the comment that came out, a post, we were surprised they were striking the Arab countries. What? You were surprised they were sending drones and missiles to the Arab countries? They told you that if you did anything, they were going to hit the bases in these countries. What do you mean you were surprised? That's a surprise? I can't stand Morandi. I will. That dude makes me nauseous, Martin. I don't even want to know what he had to say. That's why he gave Ukraine the license to make them. Yes. Well, that's true too. That's another point that I didn't even think about. Good point. But how fast can Ukraine produce them? I don't know. Dow up the stock market is Dow up the stock market is unpredictable anymore. Today, the Morandi guy said the ballistics aren't coming out. They're using small because they're saving the. I've been saying it. They're saving their higher grade weapons for Israel. I truly believe that. They are holding on to their stockpile of the higher level technology based missile systems for Israel. Do not be fooled about what's going on. I truly believe they're waiting. And they're just playing this tit for tat. They use 5, 10 missiles here and there, shooting at Bahrain, the freaking Fifth Fleet for the 1,000th time. The same places, you see it. They hit the same targets. They're trying to hit the opposition in Iraq, Erbil, Jordan. You know what I mean? That's why it's a limited response. Let's see. Ukraine can make them quicker and cheaper apparently within 12 months. Well, that's to be determined. We don't know that. Trump wanted to do a real estate deal type move out of the deal with these guys. But no, but his sons still make deals in the Middle East. So does Witkoff. They make Kushner. They still make business deals in the Middle East for the family. So I don't know necessarily that's connected. It could be. I'm not saying it's not, but they always do business. I'm just reading your comments now. Let me just check Telegram before I continue. Remember, I always say this, and it's very difficult. Try to separate the politics. I don't care if you're blue, red, purple, I don't care what. Try to block that out of your mind and just look at this objectively. And that's difficult. Trust me, it is difficult. But that's the only way you really can see this as clear as possible, because the fog of war is the fog of war. But try not to let your personal interfere with being objective. Do you know what I mean? And that, like I said, that is hard. Let me see what's going on in here. Netanyahu to Iran's leaders: we will respond to any attacks on Israel with far more power. How many times have you heard this said 15,000 ways? Uh-oh, what is this? The other side is complaining about something. What are they complaining about? What the fuck are air defenses doing? I don't know what this is supposed to be. I'm not clear. This is he talking about Iran air defenses? Now, he just said, I don't know what the F is going on with air defenses. I'm assuming that's in Iran. Bushir, maybe? I don't know. That's all he put in that post. And that's the media side for the other, the outlet for the other side, the people that are pro-regime. The Lebanese-Israeli negotiations are still ongoing in Rome, and the atmosphere remains positive, particularly after the Israeli delegation announced its readiness to withdraw from 2 occupied pilot areas. We've been down this path before, where the Lebanese army goes into the south and allegedly gets Hezbollah pushed out to the north of the Litani River, only to see Hezbollah still be there. So it really is up to the Lebanese government and the army to do what they need to do. Israel will withdraw. If they can secure a buffer security zone, as if the Lebanese army can do that. That's what they're working on. I'm hearing voices. I don't know where these voices are coming from, but my property is closed off. I have the fence closed. Oh, it's her. What are you doing? You okay? It's hot out there. Be careful. Also, there's smoke from wildfires in the air. It's not exactly a good thing to breathe. I'm just telling you. No, it's all right now. It doesn't look hazy, but you got to be careful. She's sitting out there watching the birds. Mom is having fun with that. I'm just telling her to be careful. So let's go here for a second, because finally it looks like they're doing what they needed to be doing. So it looks like the focus is really taking care of the coastal areas around the strait and expanding it. And the islands. You hear about this. Kish is the tourist one. Keshem here. Kish is over here somewhere. I don't know if it's this one or the other one. It might be this one. It's a smaller island right near Iran. There it is, Kish. You've heard of that being targeted. This is a tourist island, but still they have ports. And they're probably using this spot for their fast-moving boats. So that's legitimate targeting. So they've been hitting this area. You hear about Bandar Abbas. And Sirik, which is on this side somewhere. I mean, I could look it up, but Sirik is on this side somewhere. So they're definitely hitting the areas that you're always hearing about. They're hitting the areas. Like this should have been done months ago. But like I said, they were focused, a lot of the targeting was in Iran itself. Because they were hitting the missiles. And they did, allegedly, based on what they say, decapitate a lot of their capabilities. But a lot of it was underground in these granite mountains. And the bunker busters weren't going to penetrate, so they were burying the entry points, the tunnels that go into them. But they've been digging them out now. You know what I mean? So this is what they're focused on right now. And points here. And that needs to continue until I don't want to see any more fast moving boats anywhere here and anything that can threaten shipping. That's one layer. But then you got to go for wherever they're launching the drones and the missiles and everything else. So this is something that's going to take time. And remember, their missiles can be launched if they're more of a medium range missile. It doesn't have to be launched from short range here. They could be launching shit from in here, drones, could be anywhere, and still threaten the strait. So this is going to be, it's going to be painstaking. It's going to take time. And at some point, do you put special ops, ground troops to secure these locations, coastal areas, islands? God forbid we start hearing numbers of casualties coming in. Right before the midterms, prices go up. The blockade is supposed to go back into effect today at 4. I don't know if this is a good idea. As far as boots on the ground, the last thing, and I'm talking now more, this is a political effect, for the midterms coming up. Everybody's number one thing I always say this is the economy, always. But they'll bring that into the picture too. Well, this was a war that should have never been done. It's made prices go up. We're losing our children, loved ones, all that. You know how that is. It is. But it's not a personal issue for the Republican Party. And he has to think about that, because if the Republicans lose the House, I'm not even talking about the Senate. He's a lame duck for 2 years. Nothing's going to get done, because you have to have that pass through both to get to his desk. Nothing's going to happen. It's going to be stalemate. Nothing will be done for the last 2 years. So it is important to think about that. You want the Republicans to hold on to power in the House. At least from that political point of view. Otherwise, you know what they're going to do, like they always do. They're going to go for subpoenaing people, impeachment, opening up investigations to everything that's been done in the first 2 years. It's going to be a nightmare, because it's just going to make matters worse. So, I don't know. I was hoping, and you could say, oh, I hope it's over in a few days. Iran's not just going to bow and it's going to be over in a few days. This could take a while. How much? I don't know. The minute they insulted Lindsay, oh yeah, oh my God, with Lindsay. That was disgusting. I think I deleted the clip. That was disgusting. And he was even asked a question about the Russia possible connection. I kind of dismissed it, but he's thinking about it. I don't think. He said this, he mentioned conspiracy. There's a conspiracy out there. Somebody asked him the question. I don't remember who it was. I agree, John. It's just constant bombing from America. It's hell. What's up, Yusuf? Yusuf, happy birthday. Was it your birthday? I don't remember. Was it your birthday? Yeah. Yeah, I saw that, Martin. U.S. Special Forces Russian trader was seen 5 days or so ago at Eastern Oman port. This week they will unload all held back firepower on the coast. Martin, I've been saying this for months now. So that's what I've been looking forward to actually wiping out the entire fucking coastline. all their assets, all their ports, all their boats, big and small, everything. Then once you accomplish that, then you start to, and they know where to look. They got the eyes. You got to see where they're hiding a lot of these launches coming from, and they're coming from all over the place. But as soon as you see something light up, take it out. Take it out. Because it's not just about the missiles, it's about the limited amount of launchers. Take it out. You could have 1,000 missiles, but if you don't have launchers, they're useless. What the hell was that? What was that? I don't know. What the hell was that? You're in the front. That was in the back. What the fuck was that? I don't know. I don't see anything back here. Let me look in the kitchen. The freezer. Oh my God. A soda was put in the freezer and exploded. Come here. I need you. Holy shit. That's what that was. Somebody put a soda in the freezer and it exploded. Holy shit. Holy shit. That is crazy. Ma, I need you here now. Now. Oh my God. Ma, I need you here now. I gotta get shoes. Ma, I need you. This is like a serious situation. Because it's a mess. Wow. I was like, what the hell was that? Well, that's what it was. I gotta get a rag. I'll be right there, everybody. A soda exploded in the freezer. Literally exploded. Holy shit. I was like, what the fuck was that? That scared the shit out of me. It just made a big mess. Which I gotta clean. Mom, I need you. I need you. Because I gotta take everything out of the freezer and clean it. Alright, I need you here. Get the thing to sweep. The broom and the thing to sweep up a lot of this stuff. Because I gotta get this out. There's nothing to do. It's not hard. No. So just dump it outside because it'll melt. Yeah, dump out this icy stuff outside. What? No. Forget it, I'll do this by myself. I need you to sweep up the floor here. Kendrick! Alright, man. Otherwise, I'll get Kendrick to help me. Yeah. Kendrick, are you up? Hold that door, man. Tight door. Tight the roof. least I'm cleaning the freezer. It's a good thing. I don't want to look at it that way. All right, this is clean. I just cleaned the freezer. All right. You got this? Throw it right outside the door. Thank you, Kendra, because I need to chill. I don't know where Tycho is. Where's Tycho? Good. Tycho's under the bed. Good. Holy shit. That was crazy. Wow. Now what the fuck is going on here? What a crazy thing that was. I can't believe it. That was crazy. I gotta wash my hands. Wow. I knew I heard a bark like a boom. have a regular, relaxing fucking day. She blocked up the toilet over here. Fuck. Kendrick, thanks. You hear me? Kendrick! Thanks for doing that. This way now I can take a break. It's always something. I'm actually cleaning something. Oh yeah, it's fine now, I'm thinking. That's good. Very good. Now I gotta wash. Oh my god. Soda explodes, bathroom blows up. What else is next? Thank God I took my medication. That's why things happen. I could imagine if I wasn't home and what just happened. Soda, 2 liter, blew up in the freezer. Blew up. Blew up! It's like, what the hell is that sound? Exactly. Well, it was diet soda, but still sticky. I had to clean everything. Take everything out, clean all that off. Clean inside. Clean outside. He's mopping the floor right now all over the place. Wow. I heard the pop. I was like, what is that? I thought something fell or something. It was loud. I don't know if you guys heard it. It was loud. And I looked in and I see the freezer open. It exploded. It even forced the freezer door open. I was like, holy sh! I've never seen that happen before, ever. Mom must have put a soda bottle in there last night. I forgot. And I would do that too. I mean, I'm not blaming. It happens, but oh my God. It's all clean now. But what did that take me? 15 minutes at least? And that's not even counting mopping the floor, which she's doing. That was crazy. Oh. That was just crazy. Meanwhile, I'm sweating now because it's warming up in the house. Thought the spirits were attacking. What's going on in here? What's up, JC? Mom is sitting outside. I'd rather her outside and not involved in everything that just went around inside the kitchen. Because I have 2 fridges. 2 full-size fridges. One's white, one's black. They're on opposite ends. Well, the white one just had an issue. Oh my gosh. It's crazy. At least it's done. What's going on here? The Knesset passes law banning arrests of Haredi draft dodgers. Okay. These are impacts from last night's striking UN. I'm not buying that. Breaking. And just a few minutes ago, initial reports of explosions in Kuwait. That's how they always say it. Or media sources say, meanwhile, they well know what's going on. Um, you could clearly detonate clearly on the stream. You heard it. It actually made me like go, whoa. I gotta go back later and listen to that. I'm catching up. There was something I just seen though, and I don't know who put it up. I don't know what this means. A, no, a long encrypted code message was heard on Iran's military frequencies. Similar broadcasts were observed before the True Promise 1, 2, and before the start of the recent wars. I gotta hear this. I don't think I'll understand it. I don't know if anybody in chat would understand it. Sounds like something hitting the wall. Well, it hit the refrigerator door, the freezer door. It forced it open. When it blew up, it pushed the door open. I was like, because that's how I knew it was the soda. I saw the freezer door open, and then I saw what was inside, and I saw the bottle. Mom's sitting in front. What was that? I'm sitting in here. What was that? I thought it was something in the backyard. Now, I don't know.
No, no, no. شش یک دو چهار پنج دو سه دو شش پنج شش یک دو نو چهار دو سه هفت نو سه شش سه یک شش چهار هشت صفر دو هشت.
I have no idea what that's saying, but allegedly this was some kind of a encrypted code message. I don't know if anybody in chat can translate what we just heard, but let me see what Martin's saying. My analysis is they will, one, clean up the coastline, the swarm boats island threats, which should have been done a long time ago, yes. Then they will take the island, what? In out? Next, go for the mountains. Pickaxe where I just see famous exploding sodas. Careful, Bill. Oh my God. It was crazy. Anyway, let's see. What is this? He just released this, I think. The president. Let's go to Truth Social. Oh boy. First of all, how long ago was this? Like 5 minutes ago? Oil is flowing like never before thanks to the awesome power of the United States military. A special salute to Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, Chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff Dan Kane, and Commander of the United States Central Command Admiral Brad Cooper. Because of them and all members of the most powerful military anywhere in the world by far, the Strait of Hormuz is open to all ship traffic except for Iran. This has to do with the blockade. And that is because of their lying, violent, malicious leadership, which is taking them down the path of total destruction, in caps. We will therefore have a full blockade. I knew it had to do with the blockade. But only ships coming to and from Iranian ports or carrying anything to do with Iranian cargo. Based on highly productive conversations with Middle East leadership, I've decided to replace the 20% United States reimbursement fee with trade and investment deals that the various Gulf states will be making into the United States. That's better. Those investments will be massive, but at the same time, extraordinarily good for them and their future. That's a better thing, give incentive for business, working relationship. That's better. So there was definitely some pushback about that 20% toll because he switched on it, which is, I think, a good idea. As everyone is aware, we have the largest dollar investment in the United States of any country in history, but these new investments will make that number even larger, and we will see factories, plants, and equipment pour into the United States at historic levels, which will create additional millions of high-paying American jobs. America is winning again, winning like never before. The days of Iran killing hundreds of thousands of people, including 52,000 protesters, are over, and most importantly, I hope so, Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. Thank you for attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. This is good. This is important. I like that. Change. Make business deals. Give them incentives. That makes more sense. As far as that business perspective, because I'll give you an example. I'll just give you an example. Even though I wrote to the president, I showed you guys the letter and the response I got back, all that. You may not realize it, but that Ukrainian minerals deal is freaking so important to national security for the United States. But people underestimate the importance of Ukraine. I think people are just, they hear Ukraine and another war to get involved with this. Do you realize how much the United States can make in money? And how important it is for what they have in Ukraine for our freaking military components? Do you realize this? Do you realize how much we depend on China for rare earth or the processing of rare earth? Ukraine is loaded with it, and we have total access to it. Preferential access. It's in the language of the minerals deal. If you do some research, you just might find out how important that deal is with the United States and Ukraine. And any future involvement of industry to mine, to resource, United States gets 50% of the profits in a joint operation. It's worth trillions of dollars. But I don't hear many people talking about that. They think because they hear what they judge the Ukraine situation. It's not, we hear about it with NATO and Russia, this, that, giving them all these weapons. They have the resources and the money, if tapped, to pay for that and more. Do you not realize that? Do you realize what's involved here? Do you realize how rich in so many areas of resources, even their soil, Ukraine is? Do you realize how much of a national security interest that is for the United States? Or no? Or do you just go based on what you hear on the media outlets and this, that, this? The president knew what he was doing when he made that deal. But then he tried to make a side deal with Russia that if they stay with that occupied territory that Russia's in, we're trying to make a deal with Russia that if this is the lines that are drawn, Russia, we are making a deal with you that anything on your side, we have access to too. So they were playing both sides. Do you remember that or no? Now, I don't know how that ever went because the lines were never finalized. Remember they were talking about let's make the lines where they are and end this war. Remember that? Well, Witkoff, what do you think Witkoff and Kushner were doing in Russia? Negotiating what? Just the peace deal? It was more than that. Alexa, is Ukraine of vital national interest to the United States regarding their rare earth minerals?
Yes, Ukraine is treated as a vital
Oh, shit, I hit the wrong one.
minerals because the 2025 agreement gives America a partnership to develop those critical resources, which are essential for defense and high-tech industries.
And how much of interest does the United States gain from the minerals deal?
The U.S. doesn't get a fixed cash amount upfront. It'll receive half of the royalties, rent, and license fees from any new Ukrainian mineral projects, including titanium, lithium, and uranium, through the jointly run Reconstruction Investment Fund. It also treats any post-deal U.S. military aid as a capital contribution to that fund.
Any money that Ukraine makes, they have to pay for our military equipment. That's what it just said. So people...
No, Ukraine isn't required to hand over all its mineral
Not all.
revenues to buy U.S. gear. The deal treats any future U.S. military aid as a capital contribution to the Joint Reconstruction Investment Fund, not as a repayment obligation.
But it's a reinvestment. So the devil's in the details. People need to do more research and see how.
It's a joint reinvestment fund, not a resource handover. Ukraine keeps full ownership of its subsoil, while half of royalties, rent, and license fees from any new projects flow into the United States Ukraine Reconstruction Investment Fund, which both nations govern equally. U.S. military aid is treated as a capital contribution, and the fund's tax-exempt revenues are earmarked for rebuilding Ukraine's critical sectors.
And is there an estimation on how much net value this is?
The deal's worth is still being shaped, but analysts say it could involve up to a $1 trillion valuation of future revenues from Ukraine's rare earth and strategic mineral projects. The United States aims to channel about $500 billion into the Reconstruction Investment Fund to finance Ukraine's rebuilding, while the fund's seed capital is $75 million. Ukraine's mineral base is estimated at roughly $12 trillion, which serves as collateral for the partnership.
It serves as collateral. $12 trillion worth. Are we freaking serious now?
The fund uses Ukraine's roughly $12 trillion in mineral and energy assets as collateral for the partnership.
So before people talk about Ukraine in negative ways, this, that, do you realize how much... Alexa, how much does the United States depend on China for rare earth minerals?
The United States is about 80% net import reliant on rare earth elements, and China provides roughly 70% to 71% of those imports. For certain critical elements such as yttrium, the U.S. gets virtually all its supply, around 93% from China.
This diminishes our dependence on China. That's important.
The Ukraine deal does give the U.S. a new source of rare earths, oil and gas, which could cut China's share of our imports. But it's still early, and only half of future revenues flow into the fund. So the impact will depend on how quickly projects launch.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop. So, that's what it's about too. It's national security. Once things calm down, and that's why they want to make a deal and get that war started, because a lot of companies in the United States are ready to go into Ukraine once stability is created and start doing these projects. There's a lot of money involved here. Oh, that's a totally separate issue on the U.S. debt to China. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the Ukraine part. That's a totally different topic, Ghost Saliva. Sativa, I mean. I think I saw saliva. But based on the importance of Ukraine as a national security asset to the United States, that's what that's about. So, because a lot of people judge Ukraine like this. We're sending them all this money, all these weapons, blah, 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 taxpayer money. Well, it doesn't have to be. Just saying. That's why, the whole reason I brought that up is because when you look at other things going on, like this, what the president posted, no 20% fees. Make it more about investment, deals between the countries, sweeten deals between the countries. From a business perspective for the United States, that's a much more smarter way to go. The toll idea got pushed back big time, and I bet you a lot of Republicans weren't crazy about that either. So that's why he changed it. I have decided to replace the 20% United States reimbursement fee and trade, fee with trade and investment deals that the various Gulf states will be making in the United States. Now, the devil's in the details on that. What kind of deals? What do they gain from it? That's all part of it. Anyway, let's go back to the topic. Okay, Ukraine is a massive fertilizer producer. Yes, their soil is super rich. It's unbelievable. The value in their soil alone is incredible. Hopefully it will help the people of Iran rebuild and grow. Kish Island is full of resorts. Yes. They are mining rare earths in the polluted mining creeks from abandoned mines in West Virginia. Oh my God. I wonder, because I know there is spots in Greenland too with rare earth. You should look into that too. Exactly, all the islands have tourist resorts. Kesh has about 150,000 population and Karg 10,000. But just like anything else on these tourist locations, they have ports, and what's in those ports that they're using these tourist locations, because that's what's been targeted, are some of these ports. Are there fast moving boats in these ports? In these tourist islands? So we're not supposed to touch them because they're in a tourist island location? They're just as much of a target as anything else. If you get them like isolated and you're not harming any civilians, right? It's not like you're targeting civilians. I don't know exactly, because I heard there was a port in Kish that was hit. That's why later Russians will be taken out before the SEAL Team 6. And yes, you've got to take all that out first. Still wouldn't cover 10%. Okay, I read that. But before the boots on water go, they need to clean up the coastline. And the new water drones headquarters. Yes. This is the Admiral Cooper plan. The problem is Bill called all this in March. And now, with all the spies, YouTubers, and inflation. Oh my God. Am I getting the blame for talking about this in March? That's funny, Martin. I predicted when Iran is liberated, we will get permanent Guantanamo naval base. See, now that, what you just said, is part of what I was saying months ago too. Do you really think we need the bases in the Middle East if Iran's regime falls? You know where there'll be bases put, right? In Iran. Because now that's closer to China and Russia. Russia and China doesn't want that. You don't need necessarily military bases in the Middle East if they're all the region is stable now. There's no threat coming from Iran because it's fallen. That's all the purpose of that, those bases, mostly. And from ISIS and other factions, but really that was all there because of Iran. If Iran falls, the regime falls, those bases are pretty much irrelevant. You just build the bases in Iran now. Just saying. We were talking about that. And maybe that's why they're not too concerned about these bases getting pummeled and hit 1,000 times in the Fifth Fleet, some of these other areas. I don't know. A supertanker would pay 20 to 50 mil. So, yeah, if Iran, you know it's a of strategic importance for the United States. And let's totally be hypothetical. Let's just say, and I'm not saying it is, let's just say Reza Pahlavi is now running the transitional government for future elections, whatever, in Iran. He has a plan. I have the plan, thanks to Sepp. I hope, God willing, he's okay and his mom. And, you know, he already said he would recognize the state of Israel and create peace and prosperity between the two countries. That's a game changer in itself. Proxy money dries up, gone. They will dissolve over time. I'm not saying overnight. There's always going to be a security concern within Iran because it's going to be unstable, to say the least. It's going to take years. There's always going to be a threat of some group or faction trying to overthrow the one that is now taking the role of a transitional government. That's always going to be under threat from extremists from all over the world, let alone inside the country. So that's going to take time. For people think, celebrating, you see the lion and the sun flags going on. That doesn't mean that the threat does not exist within the country. It's so fragile. So it's going to take time. But you also know that Reza's going to work alongside the United States. That's why they're careful not to say who they would like to see run Iran, because then they're going to say, well, Reza Pahlavi is a puppet for the United States government, similar to the Argentina, the Venezuelan interim president. She's a puppet. So they don't want that to be labeled, but it will anyway, that we have a puppet of the United States controlling the transitional government in Iran. But that's gonna be what a lot of people think anyway. But besides that, and relationships are gonna grow, deals are gonna be made, investments are gonna be done. Could you imagine? Just Iran needs a major infrastructure rebuild. And we're not just talking about that. What about the water? Irrigation plants, not irrigation, desalinization plants, whatever, Caspian Sea. Things got to get done in that country. Just think of the tourists, businesses wanting to invest in Iran. All the stores you see in Western countries appearing in Tehran. It's a business boon. It's a tourist boon. There's money for the Iranian people. Jobs, providing local jobs. Local jobs for rebuilding the country. I mean, my gosh. So there's a lot of upside in so many ways to see the regime fall and stability in the region. Even there's always going to be the Shiite Sunni thing, you know that. But even then, I think there'd come a point where the commonality between them will create relationships between them. And all this craziness, all this violence, all this extremism, radical craziness, maybe at some point people could actually live in peace in the whole region? Finally? Maybe? The only way this happens is this regime falls. If they stay intact, they're still a threat to the entire region, including their own people. The majority of them, at least. You know what I mean? But could you imagine American companies, oil companies, investments in Iran, reconstruction, tourism, businesses investing in Iran, and yes, the strategic importance of bases possibly popping up, American bases in Iran, joint bases, Iranian-US bases. It's a game changer in so many ways. Geopolitically, who is part of the axis of the other side? Russia, China, North Korea, Iran. They're going to lose a big one. And big territory. And then they're not going to like it. Russia and China are not going to like it. If there's bases, they're going to threaten. We start putting bases in Iran, that's getting closer to their neighborhood. They're getting surrounded. Europe, NATO, now it's Iran here to the south or west of China. You think they want that? Hell no. So, and I know, and not only that, it just doesn't create peace in the region. It creates peace here for future generations to not have this threat. Because hopefully at some point, you know, these terrorists are eliminated or caught, imprisoned, whatever it is. The people who want to cause violence, pain, and death and destruction. Over time, hopefully that whole ideology goes away because, again, there are people of all faiths that are decent, loving people. It's these extremists, these radical jihadis. It's got to go, in my opinion. And this is a big point in time because you can't depend on future administrations to handle this situation. This is the time. This is an opportunity to change for the better for so many people, for the future. And I get a lot of people are against it. I understand it. I know. I get that. But if you started it, you got to finish it. You can't just be here now and allow things to return to back the way they were, where it's they control the strait now, and that's not the way it was. There's still a major threat in the region. You're going to see the arms race go on in the Middle East countries to have offensive and defensive capabilities. But who benefits from that? Who do they buy from? Here. There's money in that. Lots and lots of money. But that puts pressure here on us because we have to get the stockpile back to where the levels that are acceptable. And now you're going to sell? So now you're talking about mass production on a larger scale. That's why the president said they're building more plants and factories, because they have to. It's a supply and demand issue. If you're going to sell, you got to be able to have something to sell. Anyway, I know the coffee got me too. I'm not touching no more coffee. I'm going in the pool soon. Exactly, the whole region would benefit. And the validity of the oil market too. The volatility, I meant. It creates a stable oil market. When all is said and done, prices might even go lower than they were a year ago or in recent memory. Now, that all depends on the OPEC nations on how much they produce, because they know that. They don't want to overdo it either. So they're not stupid. Where there's a glutton of oil on the market, because they want to control that revenue. What's going on now? With Pakistan right here, I salute whoever wants to try. And, you have others that are aligned. Putin's on thin ice. China economy is in the dumpster. It's funny how most of the dictators are losing their grip on power. But does it mean that the people rise up? It's one thing when you have the military generals around doubting. We've seen that in history, right? But when the people get fed up, then you really have a serious problem. Then it's almost like a matter of time. Because they suppress the people, obviously. They want to make it seem like communism is a great thing. They don't have to worry. Well, they talk about what goes on here. Well, what about what's going on where you are at? How about that? Why we need to get this done before some crazy person is elected and comes in and undoes everything that's been worked toward. That's why I'm saying, get it done now. Get it done before January. The clock is ticking. Because if the Democrats take over the House, God forbid they take over both, which I don't ever see happening. But we're done. It's over. Budgets won't get passed. Defense budgets, anything. It will be a nightmare. So that's why I say time is of the essence for many reasons. Iran in the 70s was booming like crazy, and we would love to see it like that again. That's why I was saying yesterday, I have friends that were students. Actually, friends that I talked to that were students in pre-revolution. And they said the Iranian people were amazing. Friendly, cordial, polite, loving. It was beautiful. And because they remember when that all went down, you know, they were fleeing. They were getting the hell out of there. But they said, wow, what happened? Now, that's a person that's a student that's in Tehran or whatever for an education. But you can imagine what the Iranian people went through.
I need a cigarette, guys. I'm muriendo del calor.
Let's see, game changer potential for geopolitics for the good of the USA and Western democracy. And I think the Europeans are seeing the big picture Trump is creating.
Alexa, can you put the lights on in the living room?
The light is on in the living room.
This little shit, like.
Alexa, what are you looking for?
I'm looking to sit down over there, have a cigarette.
Oh, please don't sit here. I'm
not
live,
searching for anything
please.
specific right now.
I'll
Just
get.
here ready to help with whatever you
Alexa,
need.
stop. I'll give you one, but don't stay here. I'm live. Please.
I
give
am
me that
leaving,
thing.
but I can
Here.
do anything
No,
I
but
want.
I'm live.
I'm not staying
Okay,
outside.
good. Okay, here.
Burning out there.
All right, so go to your
I'm in
room
the
or go
car.
over there. Here's your cigarette there. Take it.
Oh, I can't see.
I have it in my hand. Take it. Take my hand.
But I can't see.
It's in
nothing.
front of your face.
Oh, well, that's why.
Here. All right, see you later.
You don't have no attitude.
I don't have an attitude. I'm live right now. Okay. I gotta put that air on. It's getting warm in here. It's gonna be 100 today. Let's get ahead of this heat. Okay, let's see. Taliban, ISIS, once you knock the IRGC down, they'll charge on in. And that's what I'm saying. It's still going to be a threat. And, you know, it would have been maybe some, and again, like somebody mentioned about the European countries. Oh, what is going on now?
I'm going outside to sit outside.
All right. Oh my God. I always tell her, you see how Steve does his show, his broadcast? I wish it could happen like that here, but I get interrupted all the time.
Yeah,
You got to close the door. I have the air on. Close the back door. Here we go. I'll be right back, everybody. I'll be right back. Well, let's see what's going on in here. We already about know those. At 11:33, 10 minutes ago, explosions heard in Keshem Island. Scam like you can't make this up. I can't stop moving. You can't make this up. That's why I need to go in the pool in a few minutes and just get away from everybody. Not you. This is what's going on in this house. I just need to meditate in the pool. So, explosions heard in Keshem Island. That's what's being reported on this. Smoke seen rising in Kuwait, filmed from the Iraqi border. This is what the other side is putting. take that for whatever it's worth. I know some people want to confirm videos. I'm just telling you up front that take it for what it's worth. What is this? Sirens in Kuwait. Interceptions going on. Well, it is legit now. They released it. Shit, I just messed it up. Are currently engaging hostile area targets within Kuwaiti airspace. Intercepting hostile attacks. There it is. So something is going on in Kuwait. So that just confirmed the video. All right, so update on those 3 vessels yesterday. Oman Maritime Security Center has released an operational update on the 3 vessels targeted off of the Omani coast. The crew of the Al Bahya has seen 18 people evacuate with 3 crew members still missing. All 21 crew members of the Mombasa B have been evacuated, including 6 who sustained varying injuries. The crew of the Stolt Magnesium was also safely evacuated after a fire broke out in its engine room, with all 23 crew members reported to be in good health. I'm not going yet. Not yet. Like 15, 20 minutes. The sun is still kind of low. I wait till it gets a little. They're spreading the president's post on Truth Social. I want to see what the Iranian press is saying. I'm not buying that. Look how they just twisted it. Check it out. Press TV. 1 minute ago. Strong explosions heard in Kuwait. Interceptors failed. Missile drone attacks against U.S. military assets in Kuwait. Direct hits reported. Okay, bullshit. Reported from where? I agree, Mark. Look at this. This is Press TV. Look how they spun it. Of course, that's for their people to see and believe all the bullshit they put out there. So now throughout history, southern Iran, where the strait is, has stood as a symbol of resistance against colonialism and a steadfast guardian of the nation's independence. Today, the noble people of this region continue that legacy, overcoming the hardships caused by the enemy's aggression with patience, resilience, and unwavering determination. Unbelievable. So now they're trying to show people that the army in Iran is aligned with the IRGC. Look at this image. Army IRGC spokesman hold meeting affirming unwavering unity against enemy threats. They're trying to say, you know, there's no truth that the army is being dependent upon turning against the IRGC. in an uprising to take the regime down and the IRGC. So they put that out there to try to quell that. That's bullshit. But this is how they play that game. Yemen's Ansarullah warned all airlines to avoid Saudi airspace until the blockade is lifted. They said that yesterday. Let's see what the madman is saying, if anything. Old. Let me check Vahid. Old. Just putting out the president's post. And what's going on in Kuwait. And that's it right now. Oh shit. Initial reports state that the Kish power plant in Iran's Hormozgan was struck. Happened in the early morning hours. Tasnim is officially reporting it now. Currently, no new U.S. strikes have taken place since this morning. Local time. So was the key? It sounds like the Kish. I'm gonna have to look up Tasnim. They are confirming that? That's what it says here. Are they going after power infrastructure? You just woke up, Ryder? I am following. Oh shit, they did more executions. A large fire breaks out at Beirut airport? This is what Tasnim is reporting. Cause of the fire was not immediately known. All right. So here it is. But this is what Tasnim. Kish Water and Electricity Engineering Company confirms American strikes near island power generation facilities early Tuesday, causing technical malfunctions and necessitating temporary and scheduled power outages during the ongoing damage assessments. Tasnim. The U.S. launched 7 projectiles against the island during a 1-hour engagement starting Tuesday morning, resulting in documented physical damage to several vessels. That's what I said. They were going after the vessels located in the vicinity of Kish Island's port. What did I say about a half hour ago? What were they targeting in Kish? The boats, the vessels, the ports. Several explosions were heard on 9 minutes ago. Several reports were heard on Keshem Island at around 1845 their time. This is what is being reported here. Max Osent. And this is what we saw earlier. And we were talking about this. What happened with the tankers and who was evacuated, all that. So yeah, there's stuff still going on. Disgusting. It's amazing how their media twists like 180. It's unbelievable, actually, how crazy it is. Okay, now it's coming out of here. Over here it says Kish Island Water and Electric Company says U.S. strikes targeted water and electricity infrastructure on the island. The company said the attacks damaged critical utility infrastructure supplying the island, though it did not immediately provide details on the extent of the damage or any disruptions to services. So who knows? As of right now. And you know the Iranians will cover it up, that it's not as bad as what it is. Or the strikes that they make are a lot worse than what it is. It's like those two things at once. You going in the pool all up in here? I'm going in soon. I just want to see if there's any videos coming out of Kuwait. It seems like something's going on in the recent minutes in Kuwait. Let me see if Shin is talking about anything. Same thing about the Kish power plant. That's the big thing right now. And like a half hour ago, something's going on in Kuwait. That could be already over. I just want to see what Netanyahu had to say today. What's he saying? Let's just see. Telegram is getting active again.
אנחנו ערוכים לכל תרחיש.
Is it
אני
translated?
יכול להגיד
Yeah.
לכם רק דבר אחד.
Hold on.
לא, אני אגיד את זה למנהיגי איראן. אל תבנו על כך. אנחנו ערוכים לכל תרחיש. אני יכול להגיד לכם רק דבר אחד. לא, אני אגיד את זה למנהיגי איראן. אל תבנו על כך שיהיה שקט אם תתקפו אותנו. אל תבנו על כך שיהיה שידור חוזר. כי זה לא יהיה שידור חוזר. הוא היה מספיק עוצמתי. זה יהיה שידור אחר, עוצמתי הרבה יותר. נגמרו הימים שמישהו פוגע בנו ואנחנו לא מכים אותו מכה אחת אפיים. עשינו את זה לציר הרשע באיראן ונמשיך לעשות זאת לכל מי שיפגע בנו. כך אנחנו עושים.
So that's what Netanyahu had to say. Exactly. Who knows what the nighttime brings? But that was what Netanyahu said. Which is not it's not surprising. I mean, that's come to be expected. This must be in Kuwait. I see nothing. I see nothing. Is that just for the sound? Wow. I'm supposed to be impressed by that? That's garbage. It was the national warning alert on the phone in Kuwait. Everyone is required to remain in a safe location, stay away from windows, exposed areas to ensure public safety. Civil Defense, Ministry of Interior. And that was the sound. Give me a break. Unbelievable. That's the best they can do to show something's going on in Kuwait. That's the other side putting this out. It's ridiculous. So Shin 5 minutes ago, sirens in Kuwait. Well, that's what we just heard. What is this? Did he put this out? Or are they using some old images? What the hell are they trying to say now? Oh, he did. He did. He put this out 24 minutes ago. I gotta get the photo. It's just a photo on Truth Social. But he did. I thought they were lying. It's real. Instead of doing stuff like this, he needs to focus on other things, in my opinion. It's AI. It's an AI photo. I could tell just by looking who's in the photo now. Oh my God. Look at this photo he just put out. You guys ready for this? It's actually trolling. It's actually fun. I don't know. I don't want to say funny, but he's trolling them. Look who's in the picture, sitting around in the Oval Office, and look at the map. Look at the map. And notice Greenland, Canada, and of course Venezuela. Look! Starmer, the Italian, they're all there. The Macron, they're all there. Oh my God! Look at this. This is what he just put out like 20 minutes ago. Oh my God! Oh my God! He is super trolling them. It's almost like sending a signal. You ain't gonna stop me. I'm just saying. That's what he posted like 25 minutes ago on Truth Social. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to get in trouble. All right, let's see what's going on here. Photo. I don't even know what that says. I wish I could translate, but I tried it this morning, tried to figure it out. Reports of interceptions in Kuwait. Not like what they say, interceptions failed and impacts in Kuwait. That's what Iran's media is saying. The explosions are interceptions. When you hear explosions this, it's interceptors. What the hell is this? Holy shit. That's the end of that Russian ship. The Ukrainian Navy released a satellite view of the Russian border guard ship Izmatrud following a USV attack at a pier in southern Russia. A large hole is visible on the starboard side of the ship, which is likely now destroyed. Let me just get rid of that. Shit, that thing is sunk. I think that ship is pretty much done. Big hole in the side that looks like the thing is split in half. So they just posted that. Can screenshot and put it into AI to translate. That's a good idea. It's a pain in the you know what to have to do that every time. So, hey Dave, you ready for the game tomorrow? Is it tomorrow? I think. England, Argentina. You still think Norway's gonna win? Image of interceptions in Kuwait. I'm just showing you what they posted. That's Warfront Witness. Like when Steve is live, sometimes I watch it on my TV. I watch all the streams on the TV. I don't have a chat on my screen. It's just the broadcast. But sometimes I'll check chat on the phone. And sometimes I'll put on, because I know who he follows. Like Warfront Witness, Shin, Vahid. So I'll put Warfront Witness is reporting or claiming this. Because then Steve could check out the account. Yesterday he flipped out on timing people out because they were putting stuff in there without saying what the source was. I don't ever do that. I always put the source where it's coming from so he can check it out himself. But boy, he was not happy timing a lot of people out yesterday. See, you guys, you put in... Oh, stop it, Dave. Yeah, I saw that very briefly about the home run derby. I don't watch I'm not a big fan of the All-Star game or the home run derby and all that. I'm not. Really not. I think the home run derby could be more detrimental to the player playing for the rest of the season for their teams and throwing themselves off with timing and everything else than it is for the actual event. But for the best of baseball and the sport and give it more exposure, I guess. The last thing I want to see is somebody getting injured during this bullshit and then we pay our teams. And do not think there'll ever be a salary cap, even though it's out of control for some teams. You hear that thing too. There's more coming up. Hold on. There'll never be a salary cap. You know why? The Players Association will never go for it. The players will veto that. Because there's too much money for them to gain as with contracts. They're not going to give that up.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
All right, there's a video now. I wanted to make sure it's showing interceptions in Kuwait.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. صواريخ على القواعد الأمريكية في الكويت.
You can kind of see them, but not much to really see there. Yeah, that's a video talking about that bullshit. That's nothing important. U.S. authorities detain American journalist Max Blumenthal upon return from Iran. What is that about? This is the Iranian Press TV reporting this. What the hell is this? Oh, I don't want to touch that. Security issue. More photos of the interceptions, the same. England's gonna, but Argentina's tough. Just saying, that's gonna be a hell of a game tomorrow. Though I do think England is gonna win. I think it's gonna be England versus France. And that's gonna be one heck of a game. Because France has been they're favorites. favored, whatever. That's gonna be. Then when that's over, then what happens? I don't know, Diesel. I don't know who this guy is. I may have to look him up. Who is this guy? Let me look it up. Blumenthal detained. Let's see if there's anything in the media. Yeah, there's. Oh, it's Press TV. Oh my God, get out of there. It's only the Iranian media that's got the stuff out there. It's the craziest thing. The only two links that I could find from today is Mir and Press TV. It's the regime that is bringing this up. I'm not buying into their bullshit. That's all I'll say. I'm not even going to put it up on the screen. Houthi spokesman, you know that rah, 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 rah guy, claims Houthi forces shot down a Saudi wing long reconnaissance aircraft this morning while it was carrying out hostile missions over Al Baida province in central Yemen, saying it was targeted with an appropriate weapon. Their press is crazy. So I can't confirm that at all, because it's only being reported on Iranian. Media. Vahid hasn't done anything here for a while. What the fuck is this? Was the president meeting with the Iraqi Prime Minister today? What's up, Faye? Oh, the same thing about his Max Blumenthal. So there is another outlet reporting it. After he flew home from a reporting trip in Iran, where he covered the funeral. He's the founder of the Gray Zone, says agents interrogated him. The seizure of my devices was a clear act of intimidation aimed at deterring me and others from doing further critical reporting from Iran about the illegal war ravaging the country. So he's anti. I don't even want to see what that Gray Zone is. But thank you, Faye, for putting that link. I see that, Dave. All right, anyway, let me get back to, is this for real?
He's a young man. He's young and he's handsome, which I don't like. I'm not happy about it. Have you at the White House. Thank you very much. And he's a young man. He's young and he's handsome, which I don't like. I'm not happy about it. Have you at the
So they're making, that's on Max Ocean Intel. Is he meeting with the Iraqi Prime Minister this morning? Is that like a fresh clip? Does anybody know? Oh, he is? Oh, so that's where that clip comes from. Okay. Just want to make sure. And a lot of people are taking this out of context when he says stuff like that. Oh my God. I don't even want to touch it. Oh, stop it. Oh, now they're sharing it here. On the other side.
Sir, is the military attack on Iran, is this a strategy to bring them back to the table? Was it to degrade them so the regime will eventually fall?
Well, we don't think we need the military there anymore. You know, it's a very a big operation. And what we do have is the oil companies are all going in now, and they're doing partnerships with Iraq, and they're getting along very well. The relationship is a whole big relationship where we don't need the military there. We're there to help them. We're there to protect them if need be, but we don't think that's going to be necessary. And their primary, I consider an opponent. They might have considered a friend, but I consider that an opponent was Iran, was a big burden on Iraq because they were the bully of the Middle East, as you know.
Because I heard that Halliburton made a deal with the Iraqi oil company. So this could be more about that? The economic ties between the United States and Iraq?
For a long period of time. And it's great to have you at the White House. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And he's a young man. He's young and he's handsome, which I don't like. I'm not happy about it.
Just messing with him, flattering him. You know what I mean?
A
People take that shit out of context. He's joking with him. Others might take that way out of context and say it means it's like something else going on. Stop it. Let's see what they're playing here.
with the plants, with everything else. And we would like to invest tremendously in the United States as opposed to charging a fee. And I like that actually because I don't think anybody should be able to charge a fee for the straight or for any other straight relationship in terms of other sections of the world. I don't think anybody should be really in that position. But we were doing it as a reimbursement. The Gulf states are going to invest a tremendous amount of money into the United States, and that was very satisfactory to me. I think it's actually much better.
I agree. I agree. IRIB explosion heard in Andimashq, southwestern Iran. Who's responsible for that? That just came out. The IRIB. I am following them. Let me see if that's true. I don't see anything on their X account right now. I see nothing new. People spewing that anti-America stuff in Iran shouldn't be allowed. Exactly. Especially, just think of what was going on the ground during the funeral, with all those banners of hate, and not just hate, threats against our president. That drove me nuts. I'm telling you. So, I would check their devices. I would check everything. Are you aligned with the regime? The way you reported from there, you're on the ground, you're anti-America sentiment regarding this conflict, and I'm not supposed to be suspicious of you, because those are the kind of people that would definitely be influential to be manipulated by the other side. No? That's like that's the kind of person that you're looking to recruit. No? Makes sense to me. Especially if they offer some money. I'm not supposed to suspect that you might be compromised? Of course you are a suspect. You're there during the funeral talking anti-war US stuff, and we're not supposed to suspect you like you're not possibly working with them? You know what I mean? From just a rational perspective, that person is suspect. I agree with you guys in chat. I mean, come on. So they're saying the Yemeni, what I just read, it was this drone. This is the drone they claimed they took down, the Saudi drone. That's what they're claiming. What is this? Oh, that has to do with earthquakes in Venezuela. Uh-oh. Here we go. Get ready for tonight. Get ready for tonight. Why would I say that? What do you think Iran just did? Would you take one guess? One guess, and all of you would know what that guess is. The IRGC targeted and disabled 2 more oil tankers, 1 Emirati flagged and 1 Liberia flagged. Here's what I say. If you like Iran so much, stay there. Why would you come back? It's a bunch of craps. Stay there. And you know, that drives me nuts. When people do that, do you not feel blessed and thankful and with gratitude and respect to be an American? It's okay to speak, up, and that is your constitutional right. But when it's like anti-hate level, unacceptable. There's a line. Exactly. But Diesel, they've had civil war for years too. Yemen and Saudi Arabia. So they've been at it in the past. You know that. So it looks like Iran has targeted 2 more tankers. Here we go. You know that shit's gonna break out. Oh my god, it's at 12:20. I'm going in the pool. But you know shit's about to hit off again tonight. You know, the president said it yesterday. We're gonna hit Iran hard tonight and tomorrow. Now with this going on, they keep striking tankers. Aren't they? It's just unbelievable. It's like they just want it. It's like they just want to. But do you see that he's with the Iraqi foreign minister? You guys, John, you were here, a few of you. Remember I said there's something going on behind the scenes between us and the other Arab countries? And then the Saudis did that. He's with the Iraqi prime minister right now. You know there's some serious conversations to align everyone against Iran. Where do you lie? Where does your loyalty lie? To them or to us? When I say us, it's not just the U.S. It's also to the Arab neighbors, your Arab neighbors. Tehran will deliver a devastating response if the U.S. attacks suspected underground nuclear site. Oh, hell no. We're going after Pickaxe Mountain. He told you it toward the end. Yeah, we're going to go after it. At that, like, toward the end of that talk about Pickaxe, he did say, yeah, we're going to go after it. He did say that. If Iran is mentioning, it's because the plan is leaked. But you got to remember, we're watching all their movements. And another thing too is, let me ask you all this question. Wow, it's coming on crazy. Let me ask you this question. Do you think Israel stands by if they think Iran is rebuilding their nuclear program? And maybe do something unilaterally? Or do they wait for the United States? Or try to provide intelligence to the United States? Look what they're doing. I'm sure we know. They know. Would there be a preemptive strike on Pickaxe? Would the Israelis do it alone? They've already said if they've seen certain things going on, they're going in. I don't know. Good news is all Keshem offices taken out. They've been hitting Keshem consecutively for days now. Israel has been so out of this and quiet, yeah. Because the president's telling them don't get involved. And Iran is not stupid enough to draw Israel into this now. I don't think. That doesn't mean it won't happen. I'm just saying. Again, it's under the directive. We gotta remember. Iran was using Israel and Lebanon as leverage for the deal and the MOU. If they don't agree to this, if they don't stop doing this, if they don't do that, so the United States, President Trump is calling Bibi, are you fucking crazy? Stop attacking Beirut. Stop hitting the targets. Now you're going to have to withdraw. Israel is following the U.S. lead. That's obvious. And they're telling them to stay out. But at what point, if that happens, does Israel act unilaterally? Because they know they're going to get blamed for dragging the United States back into the war. Makes total sense. Now, if Iran hits them, then nobody can complain that they're striking back in retaliation. Iran is not going. I don't think Iran is that stupid to give them that opportunity. Because Iran has done everything they can to contact the president, our administration, to say, you better control Israel. That takes that out. Oh my God. They're going crazy on IRIB and Press TV. Nothing new there. Let's see if the lunatic put anything up. Oh, he's busy. Let's see what he's saying this morning. Or this morning here. You've seen this guy. You know who that guy is. Most of you. The time of the thunderbolt is approaching. The mask of protection has fallen. The walls of silence have crumbled. No, the mask of protection, well, yeah. The walls of silence have crumbled. The coordinates of death have been determined. What the fuck? Our punishment is severe. If the American terrorist enemy launches any attacks targeting the heart of the country, the battle will be open and the Israeli Zionist entity will not be safe from it. That was yesterday. Even that's 17 hours ago, yeah. But this is what he's saying now. What the hell is he talking about here? Interesting. The time of the thunderbolt is approaching. The mask of protection has fallen. The wall of silence has crumbled. The coordinates of death have been determined. What the hell is that? Yeah, I know. We know about that. The AI generated. We know all about that. We were discussing that yesterday. Shelling on the Awaz capital in northern Awaz. Oh, so maybe it's starting up again. Let's see what Max is saying, if anything. Iran's military is just a tiny fraction of what it was 4 months ago, but they seem to be doing still consistent threats in the Strait of Hormuz. And what are they holding back? I don't know. I'm sure every time we pound them, it's decapitating them more. But, you know, people see that, so then why is the Strait the Strait? You've been saying that for months. Kind of gets old. "14 minutes ago, explosion in Andemesh, Kazakhstan province, Iran. They're just taking clips of with his meeting with the Iraqi Prime Minister. They're just sharing the clips. We probably heard them already. They're being shared everywhere. Oh, God. Nothing right now. Alright, let me see what you guys are saying. Where? Alright, hold on. Let me see what you guys are saying in here. Yeah, it's back. It's back, I believe, in Virginia. It's undergoing repairs, if I had to guess, because allegedly it sustained damage from the toilets and the laundry area. At least that's what I think. Don't quote me on that. What did he say here that they're trying to highlight?
Country, and I actually think the leaders of Iran were afraid of Soleimani. But I killed him. And by the way, with him went a very bad person also. They happened to be meeting each other at the airport. And a very bad person from Iraq happened to be a leader of Iraq, happened to be killed in that same incident. So I don't know if I did you a favor or not. I've never asked you that question. You probably would know better than me. But no, I think that what we've done to Iran is we've taken away all of them, almost all of their military capability.
President, a question for Prime Minister.
Explain.
A question.
He has to hear that.
A question.
Go ahead.
هو بيسأل عن قاسم سليماني وإنه كيف تم قتله على يده في الولاية.
It's funny how the Iranian media they put the president's response and then she translated the question to him but they cut out his response. See how they do things? Totally out of context. What was the Iraqi Prime Minister's response to the same question? Oh, why did you cut it out? Why didn't you play it? Don't like what you heard? What he said? It's unbelievable how things are taken out of context and they don't give you the full picture. Trump tells Iraqi Prime Minister that U.S. forces will leave Iraq by September 30th. Yes, we have an interesting timeline here. I'm just checking to see if there's any updates. I'm gonna get off soon because I want to enjoy the day. Alexa, what's the temperature right now?
It's 87 degrees right now, but feels like 105. Heat advisories in effect until 9 p.m. tomorrow with heat index values up to 101 expected.
Alexa, stop. All right. An explosion was heard from Mesen and Keshem power plant, and there's a partial power outage in the Keshem city at the moment. That was 5 minutes ago.
Sounds like a serious
Alexa,
situation.
stop. Yeah, exactly. The letter, the 60-day. I think Matt Tardio, someone was talking about that. I think it was Speak the Truth with Matt. He was streaming about that. But allegedly there was an explosion. Keshem, Mesen and Keshem power plant. And there's a partial outage in the Keshem city at the moment. Again, they're softening up these areas. Could this be a prelude just to take it out, take out the threat? Would you think that they would send people in to occupy it? I don't think so. I'm sure there's some people that do believe that. I am not leaving any of our military exposed where they can be a target. I'll tell you that right now. Without being able to really protect them, air and naval, by any means necessary to protect our troops on the ground, I'm not putting them there. I don't care what kind of forces they are. I'm not leaving them exposed. That's just me. There's no way. No way. Not unless I can protect them and give them cover. Because Iran's going to use that. They're just like, do it. So we can target our missiles and hit your forces. Because there's nothing more that they would love is to publicly put out there propaganda that they take United States to suffer casualties and use it. You know what I mean? But I'm not doing it. If it's me, I'm not doing it. Kurdistan is such an important part of Iraq. What did he say?
ننظر للعراق جسد
I look at Iraq as a body.
وكل رقعة جغرافية في العراق هي عضو من جسدي.
Each part of Iraq organ,
ولا يمكن أن أقطع جزء من جسدي بيدي.
and I cannot cut off any part of any organ from my own body.
كردستان جزء مهم من العراق.
Kurdistan is such an important part of Iraq.
لا
Interesting. Kurdistan is an important part of Iraq. Weren't they at one point going after the Kurds? Is he saying it just because he's sitting in front of the president? They're doing a lot of clips from this presser. Okay. No new. This is what the other side is saying, and then I'm getting off because I'm going in the pool. No new aggression, excuse me, against Iran has taken place since this morning, except the targeting of Qasem Island about an hour ago with a single projectile. Let's see. We've deployed numerous air defenses across the region, and in my opinion, likely we can't keep up with resupplying Israel with regular munitions should they face multiple rounds of large-scale strikes from Iran. But I also think that Israel is also producing stuff on their own. You know what I mean? I don't think it's just they're totally dependent on the United States for defensive countermeasures. I think they're doing quite a bit on their own. Yeah, no boots on the ground. I think they'll tell DJ she all out for the next 16 days. I've been crying for that for months now. Screaming. Boots are on water. He's taken the islands with hovercrafts, amphibious. How are you going to get amphibious in there when you can't even get through the strait? How are you going to do that? You got to secure the strait. Qasem is on the other side. It's on the western side of the Strait of Hormuz. And if you even think about Karg is all the way up at the end of the Persian Gulf. That is insane to risk amphibious troops to take that island when you cannot safely cover them. You can't. If you had naval assets to give them cover, like destroyers and other vessels there present for any incoming, that's one thing. You're just not going to just put them out there to land on an island exposed. That's insane, in my opinion. Hell no. Yes, Thomas, correct. That's right. That's right. They were going after the Kurds hard. They are cleaning up the island, preparing for amphibious. They can clean up the island for so many reasons. Maybe they have a lot of the fast-moving boats coming from there. Maybe they have launchers there. Who knows? But I am not sending any amphibious anything unless we give them the proper cover and protection. There's no way. No way. Exactly. Gitmo, we've been saying that. I said that. John knows it. I said that months ago. You don't have to take Karg Island. We had this whole conversation. You take out the oil leading to Karg. You don't have to destroy the infrastructure on Karg. If there's no oil flowing to Karg, how important is Karg? Exactly. It's too risky. It's almost like they're baiting the United States to even try unless the United States can truly secure the threat of naval passage. There's no way. They'd be like sitting ducks. They could send a drone swarm that you may not think they have, but they send a drone swarm toward destroyers and other vessels, and then what? Because of an amphibious assault on an island? Unless you can secure it, you are not putting anyone at risk. No one. Zero. In my book. Now that's a different thing if the Arab countries do get involved. That's a whole different equation. Hungry says Trump will put boots on the ground. I think at some point maybe. At some point maybe. Again, if you can secure the strait where we have absolute control of the Persian Gulf or Arabian Gulf, the Strait of Hormuz, and the Gulf of Oman, that whole corridor, unless you get complete control of that, where we can move our vessels in there securely and safely, and then think about the next stage of sending in ground troops to occupy this or that. Until that happens, there's no way I'm doing that. There's no way. The president isn't that stupid to risk our military personnel and exposing them that way and have who knows what kind of casualties coming in. That would be bad in so many ways. Forget about how Americans would feel about that. And then forget about how could you do that? You couldn't even protect them, but you put them there and you exposed them to this? Air cover is one thing. Sea cover is another. An old rusty sinking oil tanker and a mad Greek captain can disable carg. And what about what they're using now as in the field, the sea drones? Build the Arab countries military. Build the Arab countries, not military-wise, strong and will greatly suffer. They only support this war in whispers and cash and quiet ways. Of course. That's why anytime you hear that they might be involved, they almost say, no, we're not involved. Because they don't want to become targets. Because they know that their infrastructure, their money is on the line too. The last thing they want is Iran to start targeting their oil infrastructure or desalination plants. That's the last thing they want. That's their money. It's common sense. What is this? Wait a minute. Reporter. Hold on, we might have the clip. Let me play this.
Sir, do you want this Russia sanctions bill signed within the next week or two, and will you sign it?
Well, I know that Lindsay wanted it very badly. I think they may be adding Iran to it. They're going to add Iran, which is a very big thing if they did that. They may add Hezbollah, too. Just put them if you do business with Hezbollah. So we're looking at that, but they're seriously thinking, and this is in honor of Lindsay. This was his thing. He wanted this more than any other thing. You know how he felt. And there's a good chance that it gets done, but they'd like to add Iran, and they'd like to add Hezbollah to it. That's what I'm hearing. So.
And if that means secondary sanctions on China, India, Europe...
Well, we'll have to look. That hasn't been discussed.
Sanctions. And remember, the blockade goes into effect if it hasn't already local time. I don't know if that, I think that was Eastern time, 4 p.m. Eastern, but that's another thing to think about today. What?
Right now, I even called for a lunch that wasn't scheduled, okay? So in that way, but no, I don't think I've ever done that where we didn't have lunch. I said, let's have lunch. You know why? Because I like them. I like them. So I think that's all going to work out very well. Yeah.
And the prime minister's laughing. So they're going to have lunch. And? It's amazing how they just blow things up like it's so stupid. So what? They're going to have lunch. Unbelievable. The media, they ask such stupid fucking questions. Right? You shake your head, you're like, what the hell are you asking? We live cray times. Yeah, I mentioned that, KJ, but thank you for bringing it up again about the partial power outage in Keshem. We did discuss that. Just want to pop in. Hi, Amy. Enjoy your day at work. Again, just think, it's one thing to have air cover, like you say, resupply. What is the best way to resupply? By planes dropping shit in? I want to, if we were to take islands, you've got to have that naval strength, power of strength presence to deter any incoming drones or missiles that they may fire on our people on those islands. It just cannot be air cover. Air cover alone is not going to intercept drones and missiles. You need the presence of the Navy because they have the capability to intercept. Unless we have a naval presence, I am not taking any island and leaving any military personnel exposed. Period. It's just not happening for me. I would never, ever agree to something like that. But that's just my opinion. Never. And I'm sure military people are like, we're not doing that. That would not be a wise decision. I know they would be vocal about that. Now, obviously, we would have to bring on somebody that can speak better on that. But from my opinion, there's no way. No way. That's not to say that when that does happen, that something in the future won't happen as far as eventually, potentially. I'm just seeing if there's anything new. Nothing really developing right now. It's gone quiet. This could be a good time to... Yeah. That's another thing. That's true, Diesel. And do you notice how things are going on with Israel doing what they're doing in southern Lebanon? Now, you have not seen Hezbollah hit anything in northern Israel. They're hitting Israeli troops in southern Lebanon. But they just did a big strike in Gaza. Iran is quiet about this. Just saying. This was a big strike in Gaza. And they're claiming they took out the head of military security of Hamas, and additional alleged Hamas operatives. They're claiming the IDF that they gathered with the goal of planning and carrying out attacks and were eliminated in order to remove the threat. Take that for whatever worth. But this is what happened. Warfront witness on Telegram. So, that just came out. What is this? They just posted this. Kuwait's defense ministry spokesman says the armed forces are intercepting hostile attacks on the country. He urged the public not to approach, touch any kind of debris. confirming their forces remain at full readiness. Nothing new other than the messages I'm getting on Teams, which is a separate issue. I'm going in my pool. And I'm gonna leave all my links up for later. Oh shit. Here's something we were talking about.
There are reports about Iranian drones in Cuba. There are concerns about that. Where does the relationship with the U.S. stand there? Is military intervention still on the table there?
Well, if they do have that, and they might very well have that, we'll take care of it. Marco's just in the other room. And if they do have that,
was
we'll
yesterday.
take care of it in short order. We're not going to have a problem. We're not going to allow that to happen. So it could be that they're storing some. We're looking into it now. It could be so, and it maybe isn't. But we'll figure it out fast.
They know. They know. That was yesterday. That's when he was doing the signing for Utah. That's old. That's yesterday. Because I remember seeing that clip. Let me see what you guys are writing before I get off. And you know everybody will be live eventually. And you know if allegedly two tankers were struck, unconfirmed, but they're saying that 2 tankers were struck today. So you know the president said yesterday that they were going to hit hard last night and today. We'll see. Have to 100% secure the area from any munitions to avoid attacks on our troops on any of the islands. Otherwise, they're sitting ducks with high casualties. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Diesel. I am not risking our people unless you can protect them at the highest confidence. Even then, they're going to be exposed. But at least do it at the highest confident level that you can do it to protect them. Funny how quickly IRGC forgets about their proxies as soon as IRGC is being struck hard locally. Oh yeah. They're more concerned about themselves. Exactly. Great. Who said that? It's true. Diesel. Those islands have tunnels underneath them. How many would be hiding in there? That's true too. In the mountains on the mainland around the straits is where the threat. Yes, John, I've covered that. In the mountains that they use for the subs, that's where they're firing the missiles from. The island is nothing. Totally agree. Totally agree. And that has been brought up in the past. Yes, thank you. Who put that in chat? Faye? Diesel? I was kind of reading about that shortly ago, just a few minutes ago. I wish, because I used to know where they were on the Google map, but there's one canal that you could see leads right into the side of a mountain where the fast-moving boats, they used to use it for their subs. I don't know what they have left as far as submarines or mini subs, whatever. But they were using those as cover. And like you said, it's the mountains. They bring them out, they launch, they bring it back in. And like I said, that's got to be something they're going to have to concentrate on too. But right now, wipe out everything along the coastline. Take out whatever threats are coming from these islands. Radar installations, whatever it is. Take it all out. Soften up that area. Then go to the next wave. The next level of threat. Where the drones are coming from. Where the missiles are coming from. Start targeting these. Do it in layers. Work from the coastline and around the immediate area of the strait, and then work your way inland and start targeting that. So go in layers. Take out their layers. That's what I would do. And that's what I've been saying for God knows how long. I know the islands are coming because when the other side is talking about them, it's because they know Trump has it on his plan. It's been talked about for a while, Martin. You know how long we've been hearing about CARG itself? Months. So, I'm not surprised. Let me see if I can do this, because I want to go in the water. It's right on the side. Because there's a lot of canals. So if I wish I could do it, because there's a lot of mountainous terrain. In these areas, but just take a look at this image where they can come in and go into these mountainsides. And they have fortified areas all along in here where they can get into it. Access. Now that may not look so good, but they're doing it. They're doing stuff inside these mountains to provide cover. You know what I mean? That's just like a small example, but that exists all over the place. If you look at an image from across the other side, because we can't get in there with Google Earth, you would see what the terrain looks like. It's all mountainous. Now, I don't know if we can go in here to the tip. Let me put that back. Oh shit, that's not gonna work. I accidentally didn't click it. We have to leave full screen. But you gotta remember the terrain that you're dealing with here. I did that by accident. And they're embedded and protected. I mean, look at these mountains. You don't think they're utilizing these mountains for cover? Of course they are. And you got to find them and eliminate it. Easier said than done. I'm trying to get a point where I can put Google. Damn, we're not going to be able to get anywhere close. And I don't know if the visibility when they was taken. Oh my God, look at that. It's going crazy. It's actually going berserk. Oh my God, look at it. I can't do anything. It's freaking out. But it's all mountainous terrain, rugged terrain. And God only knows what they've got embedded in these mountains. You know what I mean? Exactly. It's a vast country, and they can launch from central parts of the country. They got short, long, medium range missiles. The drones have the capacity to travel hundreds of miles. I mean, it's easier said than done. But again, if you have certain assets in the region to give cover and protection, I mean, you can try to move, once it happens, move our naval vessels and control the entire area, the waterway. And then, the missiles are going to be coming in, and the drones are going to be coming in. But at least these warships have also another layer of protection and cover of them attempting to hit not just our Navy, but the shipping. But you're putting our naval vessels at major risk too. So it's complicated. I don't think I can get closer. It's not letting me. But this is looking from Oman, and it's hard to see it because the visibility in the distance, but you could see across the Persian Gulf. It's mountainous. You can see it. And this is what we got to deal with on the other side, their side. I mean, God, look at that. Look at this. Look at that. Now that's, of course, it's not really modeling it out properly, but you got to think of the terrain on the other side and what they could be hiding in here. That's actually cool. You're wrong. That's an island. That's actually way off. Here. It's hard to get the visualization on it. The 3D effect. You know what I mean? It's hard, but it's crazy. And that's what we got to deal with. God only knows. It cannot be easy for our military. Because they could be anywhere. Which way, I'm sure we know where they are. But they're also protected by some of these mountain ranges. Getting them is the difficulty. So it's, you know, let's see what happens. Let's see, maybe Trump promised, what's this? Yeah, now you're talking about the islands, yeah. Even though some of them are labeled as tourist islands, but and we don't have the satellite, I don't have the satellite imagery, and I'm not paying crazy amounts of money for it to see exactly what you see here. I mean, Google Earth is outdated a lot of the time, because we wouldn't even see Keshem. But what is exactly on Keshem? You know? That's the question. What do they have? We've been hitting it a lot. And of course Bandar Abbas up here. And Sirik over here. You hear about those. The names that we're constantly hearing. So that's what they're targeting. And Kish Island. I'm sure this has been targeted. Anywhere where vessels could be docking. I know that's got to be legitimate targets. So again, the World Cup, yeah, they pay for it. Yeah, somebody's paying for that, Martin. No doubt about it. I'm just saying it to be realistic. I don't get super chats. I don't ask for money. They get that money, and what they do is good. They reinvest it in putting it into their platform to bring more information and features. That makes sense. You know what I mean? But you know, they have a money line to do that. I do not. And I can't afford to pay it out of pocket for all these little things that, you know, the nice things that they use. It's not cheap. Yeah, he does. He does. They do, actually, him and Matt. So yeah. I'm just being honest. Alright, I'm gonna bail. I'm definitely gonna bail. I want to go enjoy the day outside and relax. I'm sure Tusi and everybody else will be live. Have you seen the NASA? No, I have not. NASA Free Fire satellite? I have not. I'm not even aware of it. I'm not gonna sit here and lie that I do. Maybe it's something I need to look into. Free Fire. There's Free Fire satellites such as Sentinel and other public-owned satellites that make passes over the area, plus a couple of other private companies that are. Well, put me some links so I can go check them out. I'm gonna try to stay cool. It's not gonna be 100 out there. Before I leave, send me some links so I can go check them out. It'd be cool to have something. Something's better than nothing, right? What the hell is going on? Now what's going on here? You just shared the NASA? Where? I don't see it. Can you redo it? I don't see it. I can check. Let me see. Okay, cool. Thank you, Diesel. I'll bookmark it for later. Alright, yeah. Email them to me. That's probably the best way. Probably the best way. But keep an eye out for 2C and all the other platforms that'll be streaming soon. Oh, Martin, you're not a mod. That's why you can't post. But Diesel will take care of it. He'll send me. Diesel's on top of stuff like that. He'll send me the information. Yeah, I think something's gonna definitely go down later. You know, I agree. And allegedly, I can't confirm it, but they're saying that 2 more tankers were struck today. Again, I cannot confirm that. That's what the propaganda arm of the regime is saying. Let me check them one more time before I bail. Oh, Jesus. How did he thank them? Look at this. Look. Check this out. This is Press TV. Ayatollah, the Mouse Jr., thanks Iranians, Iraqis, for massive turnout at martyred leaders' funeral. How did he thank them? From a statement? Did he say it in public? Did he record a message? Oh my gosh. No sign of the mouse. Give me a break. It's a joke. What the hell? What's he saying now? What the hell is he saying now, the cray person and the AI figure? What will happen tonight is unprecedented. It is a new page in the record of historical shocks, and the world will never return to what it was afterward. Prepare for an event unprecedented in its intensity and results. Today we write history in the language of fire that knows no turning back. The sky will tell a story like no other. Tonight is the climax of the confrontation, where history stops at a crucial crossroads. What the hell kind of crazy rhetoric is this? Holy shit, what kind of crazy shit is this? Did he put anything else? Wait for what the eye has never seen before. Our night this time is outside the rules of calculations, and it will change the course of events forever. No nuclear facilities, but sovereignty is protected. Your approach to Beckox means the end of your security. What the hell? Trump is playing with fire. The response will be an earthquake that your soldiers and your partners in the region will pay the price for. Interfering with Jabal Bikak is the red line. Any American folly would be devastated. Is this Pickaxe Mountain? Touching Mount Pecos is a red line. What the hell is this? What is this? I don't know what the hell he's referring to. I don't know what the hell he's referring to. It's gotta be interfering with that Mount Pecos. What the hell is Mount Pecos? I don't want images. What? Why is it saying that fucking word? That's not what I put in. Does anybody know? In chat? There's nothing. They're just coming up with like something similar. This has to do with China and North Korea. What is he referring to? And look at the threats he's making to all the AI thing. This is what will happen tonight is unprecedented. It's a new page in the record of historical shocks. Look at this crazy rhetoric. I have no idea what this is about. To be honest. Uh-oh. Explosions in Bahrain right now. This is what the other side is saying. I don't know. I don't know. See, this is so fluid. That's old. Axios. U.S. President Donald Trump told Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu during a phone call on Thursday, this is last week, that Israel should begin withdrawing its forces from Syria and also urge a withdrawal from Lebanon. But that was last week. The French aircraft carrier Charles de Gaulle appears back in port in Toulon, France. Its strike group was operating in the Gulf of Aden for roughly 120 days, without approaching the Strait of Hormuz or the Iranian coast during that period. I'm not surprised. Iraq meeting is the secret weapon. We shall find out. Anyway, I'm gonna bail. I'm gonna go out. So keep an eye out for anything. You guys, I think something's definitely gonna go down later. Iran is turning up the pace. Daytime attacks without prior warning. It looks like things might ramp up from. I can't base it on the rhetoric lies of posts, but keep an eye. They're doing some serious rhetoric. Sirens in Bahrain. Anyway, keep an eye. When do you think Trump will hit the mountain? He told you Hewitt toward the end of the interview, yeah, we're gonna hit it. Now, he didn't. Obviously, that's national security. If the president said it, I would think sooner rather than later. No. And maybe, like somebody said, that's why the Iranians know it's coming and are putting out these veiled or unveiled direct threats that escalation is going to help, something we've never seen before. I say the mountain will be within 20-30 days. Mario posted that 15 cities hit. We are going deeper in. Well, we'll see. We shall see. If you're dependent on someone that claims to have inside intel, that's one thing. I don't take anybody for what anybody says to be anything, because it's a lot of speculation. So you take everything with a grain of salt, because a lot of it is speculative. And if it wasn't, and this person is putting out information that is of national security classified information, well, then that person should be held accountable for it. So, are they revealing information that is true and leaking out information? I don't think so. So a lot of it is speculation. But I do believe that this is a concerted effort by the Arab countries in the United States. Behind the scenes, something is coming. And Iran knows it. I truly think that's what's happening behind the scenes for the last few days especially. We shall see. And yes, the Kurdish support. And that's why Iran has been targeting them. Alright, I'm out. I'm going to go enjoy my day outside for a little while. Love and light, peace, and blessings to all. Be well. Keep an eye out on the news. If you're following all this, you guys know where to go watch. All those podcasts out there. I don't have to name them all. You know what they are. Keep an eye. Because it might get